from that fine film.
Johnny, leave him alone, man. He's had enough.
All the sideways had enough, man.
What is wrong with you, Johnny?
The enemy deserves no mercy.
Right! You're crazy, man.
This is Asasio, 401 pounds strong. He goes against Kitana Umi, 375 pounds. Now Asasio is in the rank known as Ozeki. That's just one step below that of Grand Champion. He's on the right now, and here we go.
Big boys here, Gary. They're both trying to get control of the Mawashi. Gotta have that leverage, these big guys.
Kitana Umi taking charge as he suddenly turned his opponent around and tossed Asasio out of the ring, if indeed you can toss 400 pounds out of the ring. Kitana Umi's record improving now to 11-3. He has won 24 tournaments in a great career. A lot of people thought perhaps he had seen his better days, Pat, but he is wrestling strong again, it appears.
Yeah, and he'd like to wind up the career on a high note.
Our next battle, Onokuni, 10-4, going against the crowd favorite Hoshi, who is 8-6. A weight differential here of about 70 pounds.
Hoshi's got a lot of fans here. The pressure's really on him. Uh-oh, trouble.
He's battling back beautifully, and Hoshi will get the win.
Got him.
Tremendous comeback performance. Hoshi looked like he was right up against the wall, but instead, he stops Onokuni. Onokuni's record 10-5, and Hoshi will be 9-6 in their final bout here in Nagoya. And right now, all eyes focused on this man and Wakashimazu go 15-0 and keep a perfect record intact. At Aichi Auditorium, capacity crowd 11,000 now, waiting in anticipation of the showdown match as Wakashimazu, who has clinched the competition, seeks to become an undefeated warrior here in 15 bouts. But first, we have a battle of the Yokozuna, the grand champions, Kitana Umi versus Takana Sato. And normally, Pat, this would be the feature event. This would be what everyone is waiting for, but not today here in Nagoya.
You got what's going on here is called Yokozuna Pride.
Takana Sato 9-5, Kitana Umi 11-3. Their final showdown in this Grand Basho.
9-5, 9 wins is not good for Yokozuna. You got to have 10 or better. Good match.
Takana Sato, who won here 1 year ago. He is the defending Nagoya champion. Kitana Umi, who was perfect in the last tournament held just recently. He won all 15 bouts, but he's lost 3 times thus far. He's trying to save some pride right now as well.
Trying to get some Mawashi control here. Needed for leverage.
Advantage Takana Sato, and it's over just that quickly. While they were trying to fight for control of the Mawashi and get that position of leverage, Kitana Umi appeared to slip just a bit, and Takana Sato quickly took advantage and just backed his opponent out of the ring. So Takana Sato ends at 10-5. And look at the intense concentration in the eyes of these two rivals.
Everyone's talking up Wakashimazu as the next Yokozuna, Gary. And he cannot tolerate a single loss. That's the only way to get there.
Here we go.
Incredibly fast start.
Tremendous contact on the initial surge. Both men now pausing, trying to get repositioned and get their breath. Wakashimazu trying to get some leverage. Now backing off once again. Still neither man in clear control. Many feel that Wakashimazu may have blown a golden opportunity in the last tournament when he lost 6 times to become the next grand champion. He's trying to make amends here at Nagoya. He's been wrestling beautifully.
Uh-oh. See a little blood trickling out of the nostril of Wakashimazu.
That's something that we haven't seen in any of the prior matches. Here's a surge now by Wakashimazu. He wins it.
He got it. Great moment for Waka. Great moment for these people. Great moment for Sumo.
15-0. Wakashimazu in line possibly to become the next grand champion. Caps a perfect slate here with a victory over Kotokazi, a man he had beaten only 4 times in 18 previous matches.
Look at this leg drive. Look at this determination. Look at the look on Kotokazi's face. And he knows there's nothing he can do about it. Great win for Wakashimazu.
And the final standings show Wakashimazu alone at the top, unbeaten in 15 bouts. Kitano Umi second at 11-4. Well, Pat, I don't think there's any question this Grand Basho turned out to be every bit as exciting as everyone thought coming in.
Oh, boy. Superb tournament. Historic performance by Wakashimazu. 15-0. No one does that too often. And everyone's saying the next Yokozuna.
Indeed. Remember, there have only been 59 in the long history of the sport. It certainly looks like Wakashimazu is on his way to becoming the 60th. That's the story from Nagoya. For Pat Morita, I'm Gary Gerald saying so long for SportsWorld.
Thank you, Gary. Coming up, more of the World Bobsled Championships from Italy. But first, as you've seen, champions come in all shapes and sizes, the sumo wrestlers. Linda Fratianne also claimed her title in Japan. That's the subject of our Years Ago today.
The passage of sports time. The moments are brief, but the memories are lasting. Today, we remember one of those moments, and it's brought to you by Prudential. For life, health, auto, home. Get a piece of the rock. Prudential Insurance.
On March 3rd, 1977, this baby had come a long way to fulfill a childhood dream, winning the World Figure Skating title. 1977 was the year Linda Fratianne took off as a skater. Like most success stories, it didn't happen overnight.
Skating has meant my life to me. It's something that I've been doing since I was 9 years old. It's been an everyday part of my life.
Her dedication was in part rewarded that year when she captured the U.S. Ladies' Crown. But in March, her triumph was complete.
Winning the world title in 1977 was one of the greatest thrills of my skating career, and it was almost like a dream come true then.
But it was a dream that almost did not come true for the 16-year-old skating sensation. After the compulsory figures, Linda was in 4th place. It was in the short program that Linda made her move, skating a flawless and technically brilliant performance.
I felt like I had nothing to lose. I felt I had everything to gain, and I went in there and just skated. I remembered I did a really good short program, and I gave it my all because, as I said, I had nothing to lose.
When she had finished, she had leapt from 4th to 1st in the standings. But her happiness was short-lived as joy turned to uncertainty.
There was a little bit of a problem at that competition because I had an inner ear staph infection and my balance was off, and I really wasn't sure if I was going to skate the long program. I was that sick, and with the doping control, I wasn't able to take any medication. So going into the long program is, you know, you're there, this is what you've worked for, and just go for it. And going into it, my first triple jump, I fell. And I got up and I was mad, and I'm a fighter, and I got up and I did another triple jump after that, and 2 more double axels, and I won, and it was the greatest feeling.
Winning the World Championship in 1977 was just the beginning for Linda Fratianne. As an amateur and as a pro, she has always displayed the same determination that marked her for success 8 years ago today.
I think being a champion means not whether you win or lose, but knowing that you've given it your all.
All 4 men are loaded in the sled, 1,389 pounds of men and machine again, going through the Cristallo turn, that tunnel underneath the roadway in the upper half.
Joe Bellina has been driving for 10 years. He is now 30, and he is representative of the new generation of Swiss drivers. Their best drivers in the past have been in their 40s. So, Paul, obviously, this is a game where experience plays a big role.
He has an experienced riding team behind him. If you'll notice, the 3 men sitting behind him are tucked right in. They know exactly where they are all the way down the mountain and can help him in the turns if he gets off a turn late by throwing their weight up on it. Right now, coming off of Missouri, entering Bianca. A nice line through Bianca. Look at how straight he managed to hold that sled in there. A little skid right there. That won't hurt him. He's moving so fast. And the finish.
He will not break the 103 mark. His time, 103.48. It is his best run of the championship, though. And now at the top of the course, making his 4th and final run, it will be Bernard Lehman. He has been on a championship team, but he has never won the gold medal as a driver. Only as a brakeman. Now is his chance.
Look at the power of that snap, Greg, as they're getting off the top of the mountain. Lehman is in his position. Number 2, number 3. Brakeman gets in. Everything is all locked up before they even get into that first small turn. 5:45 start, a good competitive start.
They're getting the most out of their sled, and this is the last year you will see this East German sled in competition. They introduced their high-tech hydraulics in 1977, but now they have been disallowed for next year because the other bobsledding nations say the East German sled is just too expensive for them to build. Next year, all teams will race on a sled, much like the Swiss have right now, and Paul, standardization will be an interesting equalizer. But right now, it is Lehman out in front.
And he is flying through the great labyrinth in the lower half. He's going into the Azura turn, which will line him up for Bianca. Let's see how he holds it. Nice and clean out of Azura. Clean into Bianca. And a beautiful line going to the finish turn. He is really flying, Greg. A nice line through the finish.
He breaks the finish beam at 85 miles per hour. His time, 103.66. An incredible 4-run total. That is 21 seconds faster than in the World Championships on this same track 10 years ago. It seems first place is locked up. Detlef Richter yet to come, but he could catch the Swiss, who are now in second. Has had its difficulties in this 4-man World Championships.
This was earlier, Greg, and Jeff Jost's team here gets a good snap out of the blocks, but unfortunately, when the brakeman changes his hand gripping position, he loses the sled and has to run to catch up with it so that he can make it for the ride down.
It seemed a little bit like the Keystone Cops. Too bad for Jeff Jost. He was 5th in Sarajevo, and actually the start wasn't all that bad, only 3/10 off the pace. The Americans finished 11th overall. But so far, there have been no mistakes by this man's team, Detlef Richter, last year here, the World Cup competition. He was first in the 2-man and in the 4-man. He is a precision machine, and now he has to be quicker than 103.36 to take second place. They are off the final and 4th run.
A good snap, and as you can see, the rhythm, all the legs are running together. Number 2, number 3-man, driver is already in. The brakeman gets in, pulls down those 2 pushers, underway again before they even get into that corner. 5:48, a great start.
No wonder it is picture perfect. They trained for months and months and months, almost a year-round training program for the East Germans to try to perpetuate their winning tradition. First and second in the 4-man at Sarajevo. They have a chance to be first and second in the World Championships here. Detlef Richter at the controls.
And is that sled handling beautifully? Look at the aerodynamic design of that sled. It's no wonder they're so far ahead. He is really picking up speed now in this lower great labyrinth.
Richter must be faster than 103.36 to take second place away from Joe Bellina.
Here he is in the Azura turn, lines himself up beautifully for the Bianca corner. Out of there, absolutely clean. A little tap right there, that won't slow him down. A beautiful line through the finish, nice and clean.
And he is through, 103.19. He will take second place away from the Swiss, and the East German control of the sport continues. First and second place, and Detlef Richter, the silver medal, and he is proud of it. So here are the final standings. The top 3 within 75 hundredths of one another. And the East Germans have picked up their 6th World Championship title in just 8 years. Paul, your thoughts?
Greg, as we watch the closing ceremonies, I can't help but think of the charge the Swiss made in trying to catch the East Germans. And I can't wait to see what will happen next year when they're all driving standardized equipment.
Well, the sleds may be the same in '86, but will everyone else have the same discipline and great athletes that the East Germans have? We'll find out in 1986 when we bring you the 4-man championships from Königssee, West Germany. But now, from the Matterhorn in Cervini, Italy, ciao for Paul Lammy, I'm Greg Lewis.